completamente sin hacer, completamente bugueado, un respawn fuera del mapa, a ras de suelo, atravesando edificios. Luego me quedo pillado con una barrera invisible que no me deja ir al mapa. O sea, el juego está sin terminar, está sin hacer, está sin testear estas cosas. Ostras, no hace falta ser un genio de la programación ni tener los mejores beta testers para darte cuenta de que esto está roto, que el respawn está roto, por ejemplo, de la racha. Las rachas no hacen nada objetivamente, en fin, son muchas cosas que tú te pones a sumarlas y dices, no me salen las cuentas. Más allá de para sacar camuflajes, el multijugador no sirve. Y es una pena porque los mapas son muy buenos, son del Modern Warfare 2 original, pero claro, como está hecho el matchmaking, obliga a las personas a jugar de cierta forma, y lo que hace unos años era un gran mapa porque la gente se movía, la partida fluía, ahora es una pesadilla jugarlo. Entonces el multijugador, lo dicho, insisto, es infumable. Por lo que nos queda que el mejor modo ahora mismo de forma objetiva, o al menos donde más diversión vas a encontrar, es en los zombies. Y el principal punto fuerte de los zombies es que no son tan malos como se esperaban. Si os fijáis, el conjunto de Modern Warfare 3 no tiene prácticamente valor. Tendría que haber sido eso, una expansión para Modern Warfare 2. Ahí sería distinto. Pero como no lo es muy claro. Modern Warfare 3 no merece la pena. No recomiendo la compra. No tengo herramientas para justificaros que este producto valga 70, 80 euros. Es imposible. Ya no te hablo de la edición especial, ¿vale? Ya no te digo nada. No merece la pena. O sea, evitad comprar Modern Warfare 3, al menos a este precio. Otro debate se abre si en un futuro encontráis el juego a 19,95, a 20 euros o 20 dólares. O como mucho si lo encontráis a 29,95, 30 euros, 30 dólares. Ahí sí que podría recomendar la compra. Entre 20 y 30 euros digo, sí que lo vale. Pero 70 u 80 es imposible. O sea, que se han fumado, de verdad, para valorar el juego a este precio. Es que es imposible, no hay contenido, no hay diversión. Es un juego vacío, entre comillas, o sea, ya me entendéis a lo que me refiero. Lo único salvable ahora mismo, según están las cosas, es el modo zombies. E insisto, se salva porque no es tan malo como se esperaba. Tiene cierto ápice de diversión, cosa que nadie creía que fuese a tener. Entonces, si esto vale 70 euros, a mí me están grabando, de verdad. No recomiendo Modern Warfare 3 en absoluto. Lo recomiendo si lo encontráis eso, entre 20 y 30 euros. Ahí sí, planteaos la compra porque tiene sentido. Todo lo que sea fuera de eso, a nivel de lo que estás invirtiendo en el juego y lo que te va a dar para ti, no merece la pena. Alfa, tío, quiero sacar los camuflajes. Bueno, esto ya son cosas personales. Evidentemente con tu pasta es lo que te dé la gana. Pero si te hacía falta ayuda para resolver esta duda, has tenido aquí el análisis objetivo del juego. Y es que no merece la pena por ese precio ni harto de vino, vamos, o sea, pero ni por asomo. Alfa, tío, yo no me compré el Modern Warfare 2. ¿Para mí merece más la pena? Pues hombre, un poquito más, porque si no has comprado el Modern Warfare 2, a ti por lo menos no te han timado. Porque todo aquel jugador que en su momento comprase el Modern Warfare 2, pagaste por un contenido. Un contenido que te han quitado para colocártelo ahora en Modern Warfare 3 y volverte a cobrar por ello. Si no compraste Modern Warfare 2, a ti por lo menos no te han timado, entre comillas, presuntamente no te han timado. Entonces sí, te podría merecer más la pena, pero aún así tampoco veo justificable 70, 80 pavos por una campaña nefasta, unos zombies que no están mal y no son los peores porque existen los de Vanguard, y un multijugador que sencillamente no es divertido. O sea, no es divertido, punto, no, objetivamente no te lo pasas bien. Entonces, ¿cómo voy a recomendar yo esto por 70 euros, señores? Lo siento, no puedo hacerlo. No puedo hacerlo. Si en un futuro bajan el skill base, arreglan todos los bugs, cambian mecánicas del multijugador, cambian respawns que están rotísimos y un largo etcétera, los zombies meten más mapas, ponen la que si la ronda, que si easter eggs buenos, tal. Si lo van completando, digo, bueno, pues vale, pero es que no lo van a hacer. Entonces, como no lo van a hacer, lo siento, Modern Warfare 3 es eso, una granja de camuflajes que va a durar, pues si hay suerte, 3 semanas. Si hay suerte. Luego ya ni Dios se acordará de este juego. Esto, chicos, que os he dicho no es mi opinión, es algo objetivo, es una realidad. Mi opinión personal la tendréis dentro de unos días. ¿Estáis de acuerdo? Os leo en comentarios. Un buen like, chicos, se agradece. Este ha sido el vídeo, la información más objetiva posible. Gracias por acompañarme, os mando un fuerte abrazo y estamos de vuelta mañana mismo aquí en el canal con más Call of Duty. Hasta la próxima. Chao, chao.
Old Spice Extreme Protect?
Old Spice te refresca en momentos extremos.
Storage systems. Everyone needs one. As a matter of fact, I've been needing one for, over a year now. So today I'm going to build an automatic storage system for every item in the game, and then decorate it with a combination of the new Cherry Grove biome and Lush Cave biome, creating the perfect paradise for all my favorite mobs to live. Alright, because this project is so big, I'm going to take the old 3-phase approach. Phase 1 is what I like to call pain. I'm going to need to mine this massive area under my mega base down to bedrock so we have room to build this thing. So first things first, we're going to need a beacon. And now I can get started on mining out the first few layers of the room. Okay, that's the first few layers complete. Next step is to mine the outside of the circle all the way down to bedrock. And while I'm doing that, I'll quickly get you caught up on the plan. As you probably know, Deep Slate can't be insta-mined, so mining out this entire room by hand isn't an option. I mean, the outer edge alone took 5 hours. So, because I'd like to have this part done sometime this week, I'm going to be using TNT dupers. And with the outer edge filled with a layer of water, I should be left with a clean hole once this is finished. Don't take that out of context. Before I can actually build the TNT dupers, I'm going to need to remove a few more layers. Otherwise, they'll just unbuild themselves. The first option for removing a lot of deep slate like this is to convert it into moss and then break it with a hoe, which is definitely faster than regular mining, but there's a better method. For that, I'm going to need lots of TNT. And then if I place one every couple blocks, it should remove 3 layers pretty cleanly. Now I just need to do it to the entire room. Next, I'm going to need some scaffolding and a bunch of glazed terracotta. Using the scaffolding, I can easily remove all the lava that's in the way. And then use the glazed terracotta to build a circle that the TNT dupers will bounce off of. Now, to remove a circular area like this, we can't just use any old TNT duper. I mean, I guess we could, but where's the fun in that? Instead, we're going to use Canul's 2-sided self-returning 3-way duper.
Okay.
And that should be it. Now if I just remove this block of redstone, okay, let's try this again. Third time's a charm. And it actually was. After letting the first machine run for a while, I had enough room to build the second one. And from there, all I did was try to mine as many diamonds as I could while cleaning up any blocks that were left behind. Alright, I got around 4 stacks of diamond ore from that, and now if I just do a little more cleaning up, we're left with a nice clean hole. Now, because there's so many items in the game, the storage system is actually a little bigger than the room itself. So I'm going to need to dig tunnels on each of the sides to make room for it. And you've probably seen more than enough mining already, so I'll make it quick.
Yeah, boy.
Alright, by the end of phase 2, we should have a fully functional storage system, albeit a little plain. But we'll take care of the decorating in the next phase. In order for that to happen though, I'm going to need to build it.
Oh, really?
To save myself some suffering, I already designed this part in a super flat world, and used the Lightmatica mod to turn it into a schematic, which will make the building process a lot easier. But usually when I build Minecraft things, I like to use blocks. And as usual, there's 10 hours of my life showcased in less than a minute. So now I just gotta place down all of these blocks, which funnily enough is probably going to be the easiest part of this entire build. And while I build, let me give you a rundown of what this thing is packing. The storage system can sort up to 1008 different items, each with 2 double chests worth of storage, which gives it a maximum capacity of just under 7 million items. That's just about everything, other than these holes, but to fix those I'm going to need cherry wood. So now would probably be a good time to update to 1.20. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Alright, let's go find these pink trees. From what I've heard, or what I just read on the wiki a minute ago, they basically just spawn anywhere where mountains are. So, not here. Let me just not lose this nether portal and then we can actually go looking for it. I'll just take one of these, and then a sapling. There we go. Now I can fill in the floor gaps, the wall gaps, add beacons for all the effects, add a cherry tree to the center to fill up some space, add pink petals everywhere to break up the green and gray, and clean up my mess. And that should be everything, but also nothing. Because to set up a storage system for every item in the game, I actually need to collect every item in the game. Which probably could have been an entire video in itself. But I'm more of a record for 3 weeks and upload every 1.5 months kind of guy. So back on the super flat world now, I went through the entire creative inventory and organized every single item in this long row of chests. There's a few items that I cut corners with to save space, like candles. I'm not going to take up 17 slices of my storage system to have a chest for every color candle. I'm sorry, but 117,000 candles worth of storage seems a little excessive. I'm going to go through this part pretty quick because you didn't click on this video to watch me craft 11 types of hanging signs. Even though you just did, you clicked for this. So in short, what I did was place 2 of every item into shulker boxes. And if you're wondering why 2, it's because I need one for the display and one for the item filter. And so I get less cheating allegations, here's the main highlights of the block collecting, like me getting the ancient debris for the netherite block. Lots of explosions, hot orange stuff, many wow. And the deep slate emerald, less explosions, green shiny thing, less wow. And the nether star. Normally I'd put intense music here, but it didn't even damage me. And the moment I destroyed my dragon egg, which upset me quite a lot actually. Basically, I tried duping the egg with my sand duper, but it just got pushed into the portal, where I'm guessing it landed on the platform, and if you don't know already, any blocks that are in this area get deleted when something comes through the portal. But I guess there's something poetic about trying to duplicate something that's supposed to be one of a kind, only to destroy the original in the process and be left with nothing. Anyways, that's everything collected. Now if I just... There's all of the display items placed down. with the exception of some of the new archaeology items, but those are going to have to be for another video. Now, in order for the storage system to actually work, I need to set up the item filters by placing the correct item and 4 filler items into all 1008 hoppers. For my filler item, I decided to use named emeralds, and if you're wondering why my levels didn't change, it's because I named them all before the video started. For the blank spaces, unstackable items, and rare blocks, like the netherite block, I filled all 5 slots with the fillers so the items just pass by. Those kinds of items will go to the overflow chest so I can sort them manually. And once again, this isn't exactly the most exciting process, so I'll just do one of these. It's done. So if I just grab some random items out of this chest and toss them in the input chest, everything should get sorted and the overflow should stay empty. Okay, something's wrong. Let's try that again, and this time I'm throwing in a shulker box at the end. So if everything works right, the only thing that should end up in the overflow chest is that shulker box. And there it is. Now if you'll just excuse me while I unload this entire chest monster into my new storage system. And here it is. Time to give this empty hole some life. Here's the plan. In honor of the new cherry grove biome, I want to have a massive cherry tree in the center of the room, with branches stretching out to the walls and covering the whole ceiling in a layer of leaves. Around the tree will be a combination of the lush cave and cherry grove biome, inhabited by a bunch of cool mobs. And that all sounds great, but I've never built a giant tree before and I don't have any of the blocks that I'm going to need. Okay, I've got a bunch of stone now, and I'm going to try my best to make a natural looking landscape. Then if I grab some bone meal, I can start turning it into moss. And it's finally done, but it's a little bit overgrown. This one's for all those people who keep telling me I need to touch grass. So there we have it. Next, I want to give the walls a makeover. They don't look horrible as is, but it still kind of looks like all I did was dig a hole. I wonder why. Alright, hopefully that's the last time I have to farm stone for this project. Otherwise, I might hit rock bottom. After collecting some moss for mossy bricks, I got to work, building with a pallet of stone, stone bricks, mossy stone bricks, and andesite, to hopefully give the walls some texture. I left a gap in the middle of each side so I could add a waterfall to break up the endless sea of gray, and then added a border around the edges to give it some more depth. Next up is the roof, which is mostly just going to serve as a backdrop for the leaves. I wanted it to have a shallow dome shape, and again used stone, which I would later convert to moss. Alright, the next thing I want to work on is the giant tree. So I think it's a safe bet that I'm going to need some of this. Okay, I don't know if this is going to be enough, but I'm ready to give it a go. Like I said before, when it comes to massive custom trees, I don't know what I'm doing. I tried finding tutorials, but most of them are world edit tutorials, so that doesn't really do much for me. But if I was certain about one thing, it was that this tree wasn't going to build itself, so I got to work. And I'm gonna be honest here, the trunk started out really bad. It ended up having more of a mountain shape than a curve. And when I realized that the roots weren't going to be enough to save it, I decided to try again. And that's probably the best decision I could have made, because after that, it actually started to look more like a tree. From there, I continued building up the trunk, and eventually branched out with some branches. And after a couple days of trying my best, this was the result. I mean, obviously it's a little bit ugly in its current state, but that's why Notch gave us leaves, to cover up our ugly. So I have about 11 shulkers of leaves, and I think that'll be enough, but I honestly have no idea where to begin with these. And so I didn't. Because the idea of placing thousands of leaves down with no plan and ruining the entire build was nothing less than nightmare fuel. So instead, I took a page out of the prose book and decided to learn world edit. Or at least the very basics. And after a little practice in a super flat
Ahí está Urs.
It used to an armor slot. So a piece of armor. So is basically it's a trading. And then I go to enchant these boots. It looks pretty good. I got Depth Strider, getting rid of them. So the other thing to consider is grindstone on a book. You can pretty much get rid of that enchantment on the book. That enchant with curse and much you can't get. The moral of the story is enchant the boots. Craft definitely an enchantment you want to completely avoid having on.
En el Minecraft, la zanahoria dorada es un tipo de comida que al ser consumida rellena 3 barras de comida y te cura más rápido la vida. También es un ingrediente fundamental para preparar la poción de visión nocturna. Los aldeanos agricultores de nivel maestro tienen un 50% de posibilidades de vender 3 zanahorias doradas por 3 esmeraldas en versión Bedrock y siempre ofrecerán el mismo comercio en la versión Java. Un stack de zanahorias doradas equivale a 512 pepitas o 6 bloques de oro, 2 lingotes y 8 pepitas de oro. La zanahoria dorada puede ser el alimento más beneficioso sin contar alimento con efectos mágicos. Hasta el momento, su valor más saturación de alimento eficaz es de 20,4 y son 1,5 veces más nutritivo, lo que significa más tiempo en estado saturado. La zanahoria dorada ha tenido cambios en su textura.